When I was just a little girl, I asked my mother, what will I be? Will I be pretty? Here's what she said to me. Que será, what pictures on us to see. Que será. What
Whoa, that's really loud. Good afternoon, everybody. Can everybody hear me all right? Is it too loud, too soft, or just perfect? All right. Good job, Vincent. All right. Well, I'd like to welcome everybody to this month's State of the Business meeting. Whether you're joining us here in person or you're joining us remotely through Zoom or through TLG TV, thank you for taking the time to spend an hour with us. It is always a pleasure to be here for this meeting every month. And one of the things that makes our State of the Business meetings particularly special this year is that we get the opportunity to have a few members of the leadership team talk about their experience that they've had this past month spending a day in the life of some of our frontline, hardworking, dedicated, outstanding, charming, wonderful team members. And so before we start talking about those team members, I'd like to invite Ronnie and Bill to come on up front.
My name is Ronnie. I spent some time in the lodge with Crystal Tovar. Thank you for the opportunity and experience. Take the mask off. And while working with her, it was actually not work, but more of an observation, because she asked me to do laundry and I actually refused. I already know how to keep the whites and the color separate. I've been doing this for my 18-year-old daughter, 20-year-old son, and 47-year-old wife. So I'm good with that. But Krista showed me a lot of things and how things are done in the lodge. And she has done it really properly and efficiently. And I want to share this with you. She did her work very detailed work from knowing individual food preferences to knowing the morning rituals of each of our residents there in the lodge. Just to call your attention, these preferences are different for each resident. So attention to detail is much called for. I find Crystal to be very knowledgeable of her duties and responsibilities. And I'm sure all of you who care for our lodge residents, the staff there do very well too. Great job and carry on. Big shout out to Dalet for providing great support, training, and supervision to our team in the lodge. And I do not think this will all be possible without her supervision and support. All in all, it's a good experience for me to know what our team in the lodge does day in, day out, night in, night out, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I now know and better understand the many tasks of someone working in the lodge. This makes me informed and educated of how, in the course of my own duties and responsibilities, I can best be of support to the lead and the lodge team. So in case someone asks me if I want to work in the lodge, I'll say, next question, please.
Thank you, Ronnie. I probably should have went first, so I didn't have to follow that. But I got to tell you, my back still hurts. And I only served, what did we do, 5 hours over there?
Yes.
And they're doing that 8 hours a day. Yeah, day in and day out. And like Ronnie, if I knew what I was getting into before we got there, I probably wouldn't have volunteered for it because it included laundry. I got to tell you, I only do laundry once a year. And anybody guess what day that is? Mother's Day. That's when I do laundry. So don't ask me to do laundry. But it was a great learning experience for me, not only the physical part and their commitment to what they do and how well they know the residents, but it gave me an opportunity to do a retrospective in their life, their daily life, not only here, but what they do when they have to get home. You know, just like us, they've got to pick up kids. They've got commitments as well outside of here. But when they come here, they're so focused. So kudos to them for being so focused when they know each and every resident in their assigned area. They know when to knock on the door for this resident, when to go down the hall and help this other residents. And their timing is impeccable. And they do it so smooth and they help each other out. It was like they were Siamese twins. They knew exactly how to help each other when someone was on a break and so on and so forth. So they're well connected, well trained, dedicated. I had the privilege of working with one team member that has been here 19 years doing this work. Abato, great work. She is so dedicated, you know, and she's put kids through college. We forget about that. I got to tell you, the American dream still lives with our staff. Many of them come from other countries, you know, that there are multiple reasons why they left, but they came here and they take on the jobs that many of us don't want to do. As we just mentioned, we don't want to do laundry. I sit behind a desk all day. You know, that's hard work. And they come in and make my life look easy. And sometimes when they leave here, they're going to another job. So we forget these things when they're here with us, that there's so much more than the face and the bodies that you see walking the hallways. They've got commitments all over the place, and everything they can scrape together, they put it towards their family to put them through college. Some of them have husbands that work double jobs as well, so they don't see each other. You know, most of us have had careers where we go home at 5 o'clock, we see our spouse, good or not. Sometimes they don't have that option. They have separate days off. So that reminded me how special our teammates are here and the commitment they have. The other teammate that I was able to shadow has been here 10 years. And she came from Ethiopia, and her husband, you know, does some work in the morning, and then he comes home, she comes to work, and then she goes home and he goes back to work. And they get to spend one day together as a family when they're not working. So not only are they working hard here, they're working hard at home. They're providing a life for others. And, you know, it's not the American dream we might have had when we were coming up and through the system, but they are still living the American dream. And we should be proud of them for everything that they go through to come through these doors every day, for the commitment level that they have to our residents. And I just applaud you for that, Abato and Mulu and the entire CNA and RA teams that come here every day and serve our residents. So kudos to you. So that's my experience. I hope to do similar experiences in other departments so I can learn about our team members, but that's what I take away from this, not only the physical part of what they do, but the emotional connection that they have with each and one of you and their teammates. So thank you.
Thank you, Bill, and thank you, Ronnie. I'd like to ask all of our lodge team members that are here with us to come join us up front. So they told me they have a song that they're gonna sing. No, I'm just kidding. But if you have a song that you'd like to sing, please go ahead. But if each of you wouldn't mind just introducing yourselves, telling us everyone maybe how long you've been at the Terraces of Los Gatos and your names, and if there's anything else that that you'd like to share.
Thank you, Ronnie and Bill, for the very nice words that you shared of our department. My name is Dillette, and some of you I may have met already. I'm the assisted living manager. And I would just like to say I'm very, very proud of the team. They do a phenomenal job, and they do work very, very hard. So everything that you heard is true and accurate, and there's a lot more that they do. So I'm just very thankful.
Hi, my name is Misa. I started working at the Terraces in September.
Hello, my name is Crystal. I started working at the Terraces in July of 2021. So I've been here a year and a half.
Hi, my name is Santa. I working in the terraces for October 2001.
Yeah, hi, my name is Ribedo. I'm working in the Terraces of Los Gatos for, I'm working in the Terraces of Los Gatos 21 years. And I started the job is 2001, July.
Hi, my name is Evelyn. I'm here at the Terraces in July 22.
My name is Maria Recinos. I'm working for Terraza for 17 years.
Hi, sorry, I don't like to talk in public. My name is Jocelyn. I've been with the Terraces going on to 4 months, and I'm the activities coordinator for the lodge. And I've been really liking it.
Hi, my name is Maribel, and I'm the new one in this team, and I'm excited. I am the administrative assistant, and I work alongside Dillette, and I've been here for a week now. So I'm excited. I'm excited to join the team. Thank you.
Thank you all for taking the time out of your busy schedules to be with us this afternoon. And more importantly, thank you for everything you do here at the Terraces of Los Gatos. All right. Again, thank you all for being here, and thank you for all that you do. And thank you, Ronnie, and thank you, Bill. Next month, or this month, I should say, we have the privilege to honor and highlight another department. So this month, the department that we will be highlighting is wellness. So we'll have a few members of the leadership team working alongside some of our nurses and medication technicians throughout this month, and we'll get to learn about their experience at next month's State of the Business. Before we go any further, I would like to take a moment just to thank all of the members of the Community Advisory Board for all that they do to support the day-to-day operations and the strategic planning for the Terraces of Los Gatos. The advisory board consists of residents as well as non-resident volunteers. If there are any members of the advisory board that are with us today, would you mind standing so that we could recognize you? And as we do each month, we have the opportunity to get to know one of our community advisory board members just a little bit better. And we have the privilege to get to know even better someone who we already know quite well, Flo Creighton, our resident council president and community advisory board member. So I'll now turn it over to Flo.
Hi, I'm the one that writes letters to you asking for money. I am, yeah. Dues is the latest one. The next one will be the Team Member Appreciation Fund. Anyway, so I have many roles as the president of the Residents Association and of the Residents Council. I'm also a representative to the Human Good Residents Council. That's all 22 life plan communities that are under the umbrella of Human Good. I'm also a representative to the Community Advisory Board, and I really see my role as being an advocate for you, the residents. I'll give you a little bit of personal background. Some of you have heard this before, so. My husband and I, Les, have known each other for 45 years. And together, along with the co-parents, we've raised 6 kids. I'm very proud of that. When I met Les, he had 4 children and I had 2. And we put it together and we've made it work. And we're all still friends. We had 5 of the 6 kids living with us during their preteen and teen years, which were rather challenging. I've learned a lot about families living in one. And we have 12 grandchildren. Our 2 daughters and 4 of the grandchildren live in the Bay Area. So that's enough about the private stuff. I've always worked. I've worked since I was a teenager. Yeah, it's what I do. I was born in San Mateo, California. My grandfather's father came from Maine in 1851. Guess why? Gold. He was a carpenter and as well as you don't need to know all that. My grandfather was a carpenter, and following the earthquake in 1906, he came to the San Francisco Bay Area and went to work in San Francisco to rebuild San Francisco. At the same time, he was building a house for our to-be family, and it was built in 1906. I recently took Les with me up to San Jose, and that house is now worth almost $2 million. And it was built in 1906. Okay, so I graduated from high school there in San Mateo, went to San Francisco State for 2 years, got married, had 2 kids, returned to California in 1970. And I worked as an administrative assistant as I went to school from 1980 to, let's see, what did I say? Oh, 1970 to 1980. The same time I was going to school, I got a bachelor's and a master's in public health education and a master's and a license in social work later. While I was being an admin, I worked for banks. I worked for the University of Santa Clara for 10 years, and I worked in small businesses as a bookkeeper. So I had all that administrative experience. Once I graduated, I worked from 1980 to 1987. I worked in a women's health clinic in East San Jose, and I worked at Alum Rock Counseling Center as a crisis counselor for those years while I was going to graduate school. After my master's in social work, I worked for the Veterans Administration in Palo Alto and Menlo Park for 3 years with acute psychiatric patients, first on the locked wards and then out in the community. I then went to work for Dinuba Children's Services down in Dinuba, Tulare County, if any of you know it. And because of my administrative experience and then being a licensed social worker, they put me to work as an administrator, but I also was doing therapy at the same time. Then I went to the IOF Children's Home in Gilroy, where I was the director of a program for 7 to 18-year-old children who were emotionally disturbed. And it's the highest level that there is in California, short of being locked up. These were some severe kids, and we had 80 of them. In 1985, I began my own private practice in Morgan Hill. That means I had my own office and I saw mostly kids. But of course, one of the things I learned about kids is when they're emotionally disturbed, it isn't usually about them, it's about their parents. So I worked with children and I also worked with their parents. I was also involved in a program called Family Wellness, Survival Skills for Healthy Families. I worked in the East San Jose community for those 10 years, teaching in the community. And then later I was involved in training mental health professionals from 1983 to 2006. Just so you know what that is, the program is based on what do we know works in families? What are the patterns for success in healthy families? And what are the skills? And so much of my life in my marriage, with my parenting, with children, with my work has been what works? What's health look like? How do we help create that? How do we support people in using skills which can be taught to make that happen? I bring all of that to you as an administrator, a health educator, and a social worker, working with the administration, with the residents, and it's really been my privilege. This is my 3rd year as president, and I am really proud of the things that the residents do for each other. And I don't have a joke to tell. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Flo. Not only for that report, but also for all that you do. When Flo said that she views her role primarily as an advocate for the residents of the Terraces of Los Gatos, I can assure you that she does. She does advocate for each one of the residents of the Terraces of Los Gatos. We are very, very fortunate to have had a series of very capable resident council presidents. Since I've been here at the Terraces of Los Gatos, I think Flo is the 3rd resident council president that I've had the chance to work with. And the first resident council president that I had the privilege of working with when she was terming out and the new resident council president was coming in, I thought, man, there's no way that she's going to be able to do what our previous resident council president did. And our next resident council president stepped up and blew me away with everything that they accomplished. And Flo, same thing happened again. And our resident council presidents and the work of the council and the committees year after year, I see just improving, getting better, doing more to advocate for the benefit of all of the residents as well as for the team members. So thank you, Flo. Thank you, Sharon, and thank you, Linda, as well, previous resident council presidents. And Flo, we're still on for meeting on Monday, right? Okay. That's that resident advocacy at work. All right. Next, we'll have the opportunity to hear from, I can't remember the order I put the slides in. So it's going to be Linda up first. And then once Linda's done, I'll move on to the next slide and we'll know at that point who's up next. So everyone else just be ready. Thank you, Linda.
Good afternoon, everyone. Aren't we lucky here? We're lucky, we're fortunate, we're blessed. I've been here going on my 12th year now, and I know there's a lot of people, you know, team members and on leadership and everywhere else that's been here a lot longer. And I just feel so lucky every day that I get up to come to work. We have got such amazing team members, as obvious by the lodge members that were just here and the work that they do, and our resident council and our TLG advisory board. So I just wanted to share that I think we would all agree that we are just very lucky. And it's nice that me and my team get to introduce new folks coming to campus to people like you, and the feeling that they get after being on campus and meeting the people in this community. It's not a sale for us. You know, we're wanting to enhance people's lives and when they come in, and it's not hard to do. You do it for us, so thank you. So having said that, welcome to March. I love March. March 12th, we spring forward. Don't make a note of that. So we are going to lose an hour of sleep, but spring's around the corner on March 20th. So I love March. It's a good, even though it doesn't feel like it outside right now. We are currently in independent living, occupied at 168 apartments out of 175, which means there's 7 vacant apartments at the moment, which you may be aware of because you've probably got some construction going on around you. So there's 7 apartments being renovated. As always, I like to thank you. We appreciate your patience. Sometimes when it's next door to you or above you, it's not easy. So, but we're bringing in good neighbors for you. So thank you for your patience and hanging in there with us. Out of those 7 that's in renovation, 6 are reserved. They're already sold. So we're currently showing the one that is not. So we anticipate we'll probably have a deposit. Jane is sitting back there, our rock star, and we'll probably have that reserved in a week or so. That would be my guess. So we had 2 move-ins in February. So I don't know if they're here or if they're watching. So help us welcome the 2 newest move-ins. Mid-February, we had Helen and Gary Kuhn, who moved into Q267. So I hope you have met them. If they're here, I don't think they are. But anyway, if you've met them, that's great. I hope you've had a chance to say hello and welcome them. And then yesterday was our most recent move-in. Arlene Vateska moved in to N260. So if you haven't had a chance to stop by and say hi to her, I'm sure she's still unpacking boxes, but I hope you'll see her soon. And thank you to our welcoming committee who do all the work that you do in making them feel welcome and greeting them on those first days. In the lodge, we have 40 apartments occupied out of 45. So there's some vacancies there. I'll let Sandy speak to that when she comes up. If you are interested, reach out to please Sandy or me if you have a loved one or have a need for those. It's really unusual for us to have that many in the lodge. So we don't want them sitting empty, but we want you to have the opportunity if anyone, you know, in your circle needs some extra supportive services. So let Sandy or I know. And lastly, I just want to thank a couple of residents who let us show their apartments last week when the Human Good Advisory Board was here. They were here. It was a great evening. The team, Bradley, you know, they did a great job putting that together. And me and my team just had a very, very small, short window of opportunity to show off the campus. It wasn't a full tour. We were just asked to have maybe a 2-bedroom and a patio home open that showed some of our newer renovations. So Lynn and Dick Doms let us show their 2-bedroom, and Tom and Carol Boyce let us show their patio home. So we want to thank them for that. They showed very well. And just for future reference, I know a lot of you have, if you're ever interested in showing your home, we don't want to keep wearing out our welcome at the same residents' homes. We kind of tend to do that. It's like just repetition and habit, but you all have beautiful homes. So don't hesitate. If you would like to show them, let us know and we'll maybe put a list together so we can rotate a little bit more often. And then if we ever do call you, if you're on that list, it doesn't mean you're obligated. You can tell us no at any point in time if you're not going to be there, if you're not feeling well, if you don't feel like your house is picked up, or for whatever the reason, and we can just move on. But we'd certainly love to show them. So let us know if you have an interest in that. And that's it for me. Bradley, who's next?
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Linda and I are very similar. We love the sunshine. We love spring. So we are in our happy place right now. So looking forward to the season ahead. I am so excited that we are able to do a day in a life with our team members. We have, as Bradley used, so many adjectives. I can't even probably follow all those, but we do have energetic, charismatic, empathetic team members that are here that are so passionate about what they do. And I'm going on my 24th year, and I've had the opportunity to bring many of the team members to the team. And we always try as much as we can to hire for the heart and train for the task. And I think we are doing a really good job with that. We know certain positions have to have certifications or licenses, but we try to be able to give them those opportunities if they don't already have that. So happy that we were able to showcase our Lodge Assisted Living team. You saw so many team members that are working there. We have over 230 team members that work here in some different capacity, full-time, part-time. So excited about what this year will be coming up ahead with learning more about our team members and their departments. So I get the opportunity to talk about newer team members. As you saw, Maribel was our newest team member. She just came in working in the lodge. So we have hired 6 team members that started since we came here last to our State of the Business. So our admin assistant, we hired an additional driver. We hired a cook. We hired 2 certified nursing assistants in the health center and 1 certified nursing assistant in the lodge. So we had a total of 6 new team members. We are in the onboarding process with 5 new team members, meaning that they accepted an offer letter and they're going through our rigorous background check that we do with all of our team members. So we have an additional beautician. We have a security person that we're bringing in. Bradley may talk a little bit more about what we're doing in that direction. Health center, LVN, licensed vocational nurse, an additional housekeeper, and an additional CNA. So very excited about them joining our team. We have 16 anniversaries in March for our team members. So 16 team members that were hired within the last over 25 years. 10 team members are celebrating 0 to 5 years. 3 team members are celebrating 6 to 10 years. 2 team members, 11 to 15 years. 1 team member, 16 to 20 years. 1 team member, 21 to 25 years. Zanko Malbassett is our CNA in the health center. He's celebrating 22 years. And our longest term team member for the month of March is Martina Alvarez. She works in dining services as our tray line lead, and she is celebrating 26 years. So congratulations to all of them. I wanted to say thank you to Mrs. Clank. I know that she did an article in the RAG about 2 of our newest team members, not newest, 2 team members that just recently got educated. We followed with Willie and Ruth. Ruth became a CNA and Willie received his bachelor's degree. So very excited about our Robert Foster Family Education Fund. We meet on a monthly basis. Our next meeting is this Friday. So we're going to look at new applications, but thank you for highlighting them and showing. And for those of you that contribute to that fund, it is phenomenal and it really does make a difference in our team members' lives. So thank you. Any questions for me at all? Yes. I'm going to let Bradley handle that one. Is that okay? You want to take that one? As Ronnie said, next question.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to remove my mask here. Well, like everyone said that's been up here already, that you do have a very great community here, and the team members love it here. My team also loves it here. I do too. When I was first hired, just to let you know, I was only going to give TLG 5 years of my working here. And this is now my 6th year here, so it's exceeded. So we'll see. I'm getting close to retirement age. I just have 3 things that I'd like to discuss or mention here. And one of them, I know you're probably not going to be happy with this, but the salon service prices have to be increased. We had 20 years with Margarita, and she did not raise the prices within those 20 years. And as of April 3rd, there will be an increase in the salon prices. You will get the price list in the weekly updates this Friday. So please understand that that has to happen. We've hired 2 beauticians. Also, both are very well experienced in cutting hair or working with males and females. So they do very well. They both want to stay here until they retire. So please be patient. If there's anything, let me know. If there's any feedback on them too, I would appreciate it. The next thing I have, and Mrs. Jacobs mentioned activities in a little bit, but I'll let Bradley discuss the director part. For activities, I will take over in the interim, and I am assisting assisted living as well. So it's independent living and assisted living at this time, aside from my other duties. You will most likely hear from some of my team members who are concierges. That would be Omar and Alexis, because I need some help. They will be helping me to schedule activities, bus trips. I have a number of things I want to add on to the program that are new. I am working with Blossom Hill Elementary School now, and also the high school, I think it's Los Gatos, and also the university. Thank you, Mrs. Davis, for that. So there's several things that are going to be happening within this year. And once, and again, I'm only in the interim, but if you have any suggestions, especially lunches and dinners, I'm not familiar with Santa Clara County and San Jose too much, but if you talk about Alameda County, I can tell you all the nice restaurants and whatnot. So if you'd like to go somewhere, please let me know. And I will make sure to try to make that happen or make it happen. The last thing I have on the list, on my list at least, Linda mentioned the available studio apartments. They're all studio apartments right now that are available in assisted living, or what we call the lodge. Currently have 5 that have become available. I'm going through the wait list, but there's not a lot that want to transfer, and I understand that. But once I go through that list and no one accepts a transfer, then it goes to the outside wait list. And that may, and those who may need it later on will have to wait, those who are internal. So that's something I just want you to remember and remind you of, and because we do have to fill those apartments. Do you have any questions for me? All right, handing it over to the next person. Thank you very much.
Who's that? I don't know who that guy is. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this March edition of State of the Business. Dining Services has pretty much come full circle in a lot of things, and what's old is new again. We're back to the holiday season. I call it the family dining season. We're coming into Easter, St. Patty's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day. Father's Day doesn't count. I know what I'm talking about. It's we never get anything. It's true. I'm a dad. I know this. But we have a lot of great things on tap. St. Patty's Day wouldn't be the same without corned beef and cabbage and soda bread and some good Irish beer and those sorts of things. So those will obviously be available in quantities that you can't ignore. We will be doing the Easter brunch. Now that we're back open to guests, we're not really sure what that flood of people is going to look like, but from what we've seen so far with the guest counts in the dining room, we anticipate expanding out into this area. We'll probably have a buffet here in the GRA. We'll have one in the dining room. It's going to be everything you can imagine an Easter brunch should be, up to and including a kids table. We'll have a kids buffet as well. That's a shorter version of the buffet. We set it up at about 4 feet high, actually 3 feet high, so that they have their own buffet. So that's awfully cute. And I'm not sure what festivities. Again, I will defer to Bradley as far as what the alternative festivities will be, but nonetheless, lots of delicious things will be available, and we anticipate having a good time there. As we move on through the month of March, just look forward to more changes. As we get to the end of March, we're implementing a new menu cycle. Previously, we had been on a 4-week cycle with various changes. We're expanding that to a 7-week cycle. So every 7 weeks, we'll be making changes to menu items and such. And as always, many of you know this, and some know more than others. My ears are always open and almost always on fire because I'm being talked about or talked to. I encourage that. Please, please, please keep telling me the things that are working for you and the areas where we can improve, because that's really what our mission is to make this more of a home for you, things that you recognize, things that you enjoy. And quite frankly, if you don't like it, we don't want to serve it. So we'll make sure those things kind of go by the wayside. We're instituting a new thing this Friday. Every Friday is going to be Friday Flights. We'll be doing wine tasting in the dining room during the lunch period. Sherry will be up there with what the next week's wines will be, to kind of give everybody a sneak peek as to what those are going to taste like. That ought to be fun. We'll try that out, and if everybody likes it, then we'll keep doing it. But who doesn't like an extra taste of wine? Anyway, many things coming. Look forward to presenting these things to you as they come along. As always, most of you know where my door is. If you don't, act like you're going to maintenance, except veer a little bit to the right, and there I am. My door is almost always open, and I'm almost always in there, and I have never said I don't have time. I always have time. I'm always listening, and I encourage your feedback. So thanks so much for being as great as you are and as gracious to me. This is my 7th month. I'm kind of a youngster around here, but this is my 7th month being here. How many of you thought I was here longer? It seems like I've been here forever, doesn't it? It seems like I've always been here, but I actually haven't. The fondness is what makes it wonderful. Anyway, thank you again so much for all your time and patience with our changes. On a personnel note, we have 2 new sous chefs that we just hired to help managing in the kitchen, helping Chef John make sure all of these things go as they're supposed to on a daily basis. Catering is becoming more robust, so it really is starting to come together, and a great team I have. My human good staff is my extended family, and they know that just as you are. So anyway, thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Christy. I just learned that Paul is a big fan of karaoke. And so Sandy, let's work on scheduling some karaoke parties and make sure Paul is aware, and maybe make sure that he gets a couple of Irish beers or flights of wine before the karaoke singing starts. I appreciate all of you. All right, so a couple of other items. There was a great question that was brought up earlier: is what happened to the activities lady? So we were very, very excited to bring Nina Tan to the community as our Director of Community Engagement. As Director of Community Engagement, that role oversees, supports, plans, executes, works with the teams to carry out all of the activities, events, outings for our residents in residential living and assisted living in the lodge. Nina has been part of the Human Good organization for almost 10 years now. And she, prior to coming to the Terraces of Los Gatos, she had worked at Life's Gardens, which is one of our affordable housing communities in Sunnyvale. As Christy mentioned, one of the things that we really strive to do in recruiting and filling all of our positions is hiring for the heart. And to be very candid, it was a very difficult decision for Nina to leave Life's Gardens, where she had been for nearly 10 years. And as she explained to me, ever since she made that decision, it was hard. It was very hard. And her heart was telling her to stay at Life's Gardens, but her mind was telling her, no, this is a good move for me. This is the right thing for me. Fortunately, I guess, looking at the bright side of it, she made the decision to follow her heart quickly. And so only after her first week here at the Terraces, she decided that she needed to follow her heart and return back to Life's Gardens. And so although we are, to put it very professionally, totally bummed that Nina has left the Terraces of Los Gatos, we're happy that she's returned to the community that she loves so dearly within the Human Good organization. So we are grateful for Sandy and her team for continuing to fill that important role of planning the activities, outings, and events as we continue the search for our community engagement director. We have a few individuals that we are in contact with, and we hope to be able to fill that position soon. All right, a couple of other things. It's hard with that light. I can't see what time it is. 4:18. Okay, cool. We got some time. As Christy mentioned earlier, I also just wanted to add a thank you for all of your support of the Robert Foster Family Education Fund. For those of you who have been involved on the committee that reviews all of the applications for scholarships from our team members, we thank you for your hard work on that committee. It has really been a great thing for our community, especially over the past several years. We have seen more team members return to school, continue their education, being financially supported by the education fund than we've seen in many, many years. And so we appreciate the generosity, and we appreciate the support, not only the financial support, but the encouragement that many of you provide to our team members to take advantage of those opportunities. Several of our team members who have earned additional degrees or certifications over the past few years wouldn't have done so, or at least wouldn't have done so at this time, were it not for the encouragement of some of our very caring residents. So thank you for your support on TLG Connect. And I also in the resident mailboxes, there's a 2-page report, sort of an annual report from the Robert Foster Family Education Fund Committee that gives a little bit of details about the fund and about team member participation.
Foster Family Education. Oh. So on April 18th, we are sponsoring the car exhibit at Larry Carter's in the Santa Cruz Mountains. I know some of you have been there before. It's a fabulous, fabulous place to see these beautifully maintained antique cars. So your donation to the Foster Family Education Fund, all of the proceeds will go to the fund to help support the team members. And that date is April 18th, the car show. So watch for additional information.
Great. Thank you to the foundation for making that happen. Next, medical deduction letters. They're here. Yay! They are available on TLG Connect, and then they'll also be distributed with the weekly updates tomorrow. So you'll receive those in your mailboxes tomorrow, or you can pull them off from TLG Connect and print them at home if you'd like. I have to apologize. They were later than we all would have liked. Unfortunately, Ronnie, who has slipped out, it's not Ronnie's fault. Ronnie was doing everything within his power to get those letters from the finance team. So anyways, we apologize. At a corporate level, they are making some adjustments, some procedural adjustments, so that moving forward in the years to come, we can make sure that there aren't the same delays that we had this year, and we can get them out a little bit earlier in the coming years. Next, there's a special event that's coming up in a couple of weeks that I just wanted to mention. There's a group called the Human Good Connections team, and this is a group of team members that work at various communities as well as our community support centers that work on putting on different virtual events. And so we have one coming up that looks particularly interesting on March 16th. There are 2 individuals from the New York Times that are going to be sharing some what sounds like really interesting information about the news process and everything that goes into creating the news that we all receive on a daily basis. So that program will be available online. There'll be more information on TLG Connect and as well as in the weekly updates. Just so everyone is aware, we've changed the schedule of our community chats. We moved from twice a month for the community chats to once a month. So we always have the State of the Business meeting on the first Thursday of the month. And then we have historically had the community chats on the second and fourth Thursday of the month at 1:30. We are changing it so that we still have the State of the Business meeting on the first Thursday of the month. And then we have the community chat on the third Thursday of the month. And we are pushing the time up just a hair because there's something else that starts at 2:30 on that day. So 1:15, although I didn't put it on there, 1:15 on the third Thursday of every month, we'll have the community chats. Let's see, this month will be the 16th of March. Well, sorry you'll miss it. All right. You all received yesterday, I believe, in your mailbox, a lengthy letter from us, the leadership team. And I wanted to, one, apologize that it's so long, but two, also thank you for your patience as we work to get that information out. We are appreciative of all of the feedback that we get on a regular basis through formal feedback mechanisms like our resident experience survey, as well as all of the feedback that we receive on a daily basis through these meetings, through community chats and other conversations. So we just wanted to lump everything together and provide as much information as we could on the topics that are of most interest to all of the residents. So if you haven't had a chance to read through that lengthy document, I encourage you to do so. And if you have any particular questions about anything, or if there's any additional information, please feel free to reach out to me directly, reach out to any of the specific department managers or directors for the respective areas. I wanted to also thank you, and Linda had alluded to this. I wanted to thank those that were involved in the Human Good Board event that took place last week. And also thank you for allowing all of the board members and invited guests to come to the community. It really was a special event, and everyone enjoyed their time at the Terraces of Los Gatos, the opportunities they had to interact with some of our residents, as well as some of our team members. I still have a job after it, so that's good. But particularly want to thank a few individuals, Judy Lovell, Sue Livingston, Terry Schaup, John Hawes, and Mary Brown for the wonderful musical performance that they provided. And then also a special thank you to Mike Brulot, who shared a poem that he wrote to help kick off the event. Some of you may have heard about the event, and we had a group of Ukrainian and Ukrainian American performers that came in, and it was a really touching evening, and they also really wanted to thank the community for opening our doors to them. We are working on getting them scheduled, or at least some of them scheduled, to come back out to the community to share some of their talents with the rest of the community. Right at the conclusion of the meeting, there's a brief video of one of the performances that I'll show for those that want to stick around to see it. We have a few minutes left, and so I'll take any questions at this time.
Just not a question, but a thank you. I thought that flyer, I think, was about 8 pages long that you put in our boxes yesterday. I thought was excellent. And I thought I learned a great deal about what's really happening in terms of what's going on at the Terraces. And I was very pleased to read it. My husband's reading it right now.
Thank you. We'll take any more similar compliments from anyone else in the group. Now, any other questions or comments this time? Okay. Well, thank you all very much for being here. As I mentioned, I'll try to play this video, and it is what it is. I mean, it's self-explanatory, but it is a piano and a cello piece that I felt was particularly moving, and I wanted to share it with the rest of the community. You may want to just close your eyes and enjoy it, because one, you may enjoy it more, and two, the video is sort of all over the place, and so we don't want anyone to get seasick. But anyways, thank you for being here. Thank you for your ongoing support of all of our team members, and let's see if this video works.